Welcome along everyone to a great little Christmas poinsettia. Are we ready? Big Brian's ready with a little bit of water, just clean, fresh water from the tap, just placed on the flower area. I'm going to use a little cad orange, just with Big Brian again. I'm going to place this in a starburst shape, loosely following the centre of the drawing, not right to the tips of the petals of the poinsettia flower. And then a little cad red just dropping on there. And the benefit of Big Brian is he's got a round tip to him, so we don't leave those pointy ends. We don't want those pointy ends. We have a blunt end on Big Brian, and I'm sure he won't mind me divulging that. Just dropping a little more cad red in there. Gently shaping the flowers rather than one big splurge, adding the colour as we progress to build the shape. A little rose opera now, still with Big Brian, still just dropping the colour in simply. Not fussing, just almost tapping it in. Like a drummer. That's all it is. Very simply done. Let's get a little bit of water on the leaf area. So again, just clean water, or relatively clean water, just dropped on. Then we're going to go in with royal blue. Nice royal blue, still using Big Brian. He's working like a Trojan today. Fabulous work with Big Brian, and again you see how simply we just place the colours down with the side of Big Brian. So we're using the varying shapes of the brush as we go. Little sap green and royal blue now. Just add it in. And again, we're just shaping around the petals. Doesn't matter if it touches the petals sometimes, they just bleed in a little. That's all good stuff. And from when we place the colour down, the colour will be working its way around the painting wherever it's allowed to go with the pre-wetted area. Cobalt Blue and Sap Green now, just a mix for a darker tone. And again, just shaping a little bit more around the petals. So it always looks a bit uncertain when we start this style, but it certainly shows after about a quarter of the way in, it starts to reveal itself. And the speed you can paint in loose watercolours is quite amazing. Our mini Dave is on the scene, our little brush, little dagger brush. Cad orange now, we're just shaping. Now we're getting a little bit finer with the shape of the tips of the petals on the first flower, on the first poinsettia. So if we do that with a big brush, we're spending too much time fiddling and not enough time getting the colour down. Just shaping it again, we're just not being overly dictated to by the drawing, because the drawing starts off loose. So again, it's just a guide, always just a guide. dragging it out a little bit into the green that's still wet, so it merges together nicely. Alizerin Crimson now, joining the centre of the flower. Again, just tapping that down. Still wet, so the water really mixed with the paint will give you a good 8, 10, even more minutes, depending on your environment, to allow the paint to keep flowing. Cobalt Blue and Perylene Green mixed together. Still using Mini Dave. When we're shaping around the petals still, we're also starting to think about shaping around some leaf shapes. So again, notice how this little brush is used, reversed round, get a nice bit of line work, or the dagger shaped side to get a wider sweep. And just picking the edges of the leaf out. Little cobalt blue, just chipping in to the flower, getting a little bit close to the centre. A little bit of water on the plant pot, just at the bottom, as we did with the flower, and then with the leaves we're doing the same with the plant pot. Cobalt blue, just drag down. And a little bit of royal blue and cad orange mixed together. And then inside of the pot, a little bit darker, just to pick out that inside rim. And a little bit of purple, I believe. I should know. Just again let that bleed together as Miss Rigger walks to the painting area. Indian red. Start to get a few stems on of the flower. And just a little bit of sepia now, just to pick out slightly darker tones. allow these to grow or show through the foliage. So we're not doing lines from top to bottom. We're imagining the leaves are crossing over the front of them, making a nice canopy. And taking these out to the left and the right side to give a nice full area. And a little bit of Alizerin Crimson and Purple mixed together now. Just going back into the centre with Miss Rigger still doing her finest work. Brilliant little brushes, Miss Rigger. One I had made specially for me. And if you do want to get yourself a Miss Rigger, just drop onto the loosewoodcolours.com store and they're available over there. Great brush. Cad Red and Alizerin Crimson. What we're doing now is just negatively picking out those little smaller petals within the centre of the flower. So we've got the large ones on, but we're just picking out the shapes a little bit more now, building them up steadily. And just around the edges, just pulling out the shape. Nice liquid paint. A nice little starburst formation around the centre. Great one there, so great little technique. And there's several tutorials over at loosewatercolours.com specifically on negative painting in this style, so get yourself over there and have a little look. Nice little lines on the petals there, just to give that definition, a little bit of definition, not over the top. Starting to build and come together now. And Poinsettia number 2, please. Table's ready. We're going to do the similar thing with this, just picking out those little inner petals. In the same colours as we used before. Just picking out those central veins on the petal as well as the ones that go to the left and right within each petal. Little royal blue and cad orange now with Miss Rigger, and we're just going to do a few little swirls around the pot just to give it a bit of decoration and also a bit of direction of the pot. Purple and sepia mixed just inside the pot, just give that little depth there. And Perylene green and purple. Just using this to pick out a few leaves. Just a gentle build up of the leaf area now. So I'll let you enjoy this, and we'll come back in a few moments. So, slow down a little bit for you. Alizerin crimson and purple now, just to go around the centre of the poinsettias, just again a little bit darker each time, just repeating some of the moves just to pick them out a little bit more and give a little bit of definition. Just gently adding the lines there. Look how delicate that Miss Rigger's bristles can be. And again, your equipment's minimal with my approach to loose watercolours, but very, very useful. So do keep an eye on the brushes you're using, get the right stuff, and it will help. Alizerin Purple still, just adding a bit more depth in that centre. Smaller areas for darker tones. Again, coming to life now, just adding those little extra little bits. So your level of looseness is your own decision. There's not a fixed level. You can like it just nice and loose and fluid with no definition at all, and some are almost to detail. So Perylene green and sap green mix now, just for those final little picking out of the leaves. A little bit more definition. Add in as we go along. But we're not overwhelming the colours that are there. A few more just definition lines down the centre of some of the leaves there. Just pulling those in. A few little stems. Still Miss Rigger doing a fabulous job. So we're almost there, guys. A little bit of splatter with sap green and then cad red to finish. And you've done a fabulous job. A real good job. Well done, you. So if you'd like to see lots more, over 400 videos and tutorials to get you loose in your painting, just drop across to loosewatercolours.com. There's a click below and you can join me and enjoy the benefit of all of my years of loose painting, and you shall be loose very, very soon. So well done, and see you again soon.